When I was 16, my family put a 4-foot tall porcelain doll in my room. My dad eventually moved the doll into the corner of the room, covering it with a sheet because it scared me so much. I woke up in the middle of one night to pee, and the doll sheet was on the floor, and the doll was in the middle of the room. Out of shock, I ran downstairs and stayed there until morning. After that, my dad decided to put the doll in my closet. The next morning, I woke up to light thumping in the closet. My dad finally moved the doll to the spare room downstairs. One night, after a few months, I woke up around 2 a.m. to the sound of the vacuum running. I went downstairs to ask my parents why they decided to vacuum in the middle of the night. As soon as I opened the door to the spare room, the vacuum stopped running. The doll was still in the corner my dad had put in, but there was stuff thrown all over the room, and the vacuum wasn't even plugged in. When my little brother was 4 or 5, he used to get really scared walking upstairs alone. We never really knew why. One evening, I was the one to take him upstairs, and about 3/4 of the way up, he shouted, "Stop!" It was so abrupt, and he looked so scared. He said, "We have to wait for the lady to let us pass." I was immediately shaken. After a few moments, he turned to me and smiled and said, "She let us pass. She likes you." At this point, my heart was in my mouth. I told my mother about it the next morning, and she turned white. She told me that the house we bought was really cheap because a woman in her 60s had hanged herself on the banister of the stairs. It's safe to say I've never walked up the stairs on my own at night ever again. 9 years ago, I was playing music in this old studio. I was given the keys and told I could stay as long as I wanted. I regularly used to crash on the couch and play throughout the night. I had the A.N.D key. One morning, I woke up with a photo of me asleep on the couch, saved to my camera roll. I was heading to my parents' room to get a bag, and my dog was following me right at my heels. However, my dog refused to go down the hall any further past my room and was super nervous. I ignored it and walked into my parents' room. And in the dark bedroom, I saw a woman sitting at the edge of their bed, about 3 feet from me. In a panic, I looked at my dog and then back at the woman, but she was gone. I ran downstairs and told my mom if she wanted a bag, she could get it herself. I used to regularly stay in this creepy place. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a woman wearing really old-fashioned clothes, looking out of the window and crying. She turned her head towards me slowly and stared right into my eyes. I buried myself under the covers, my heart beating so fast. I didn't dare to look and see if she was still there, and just stayed awake in a ball under the covers for the entire night until morning came. This was the last time I ever went there. I'm a nurse and I've done many night shifts. One night I was doing a shift at a hospital I had never worked at before. On my bed I took a blanket and pillow and found an empty small day room to rest it for a while. The room was super cold and all of a sudden I just knew someone was in the room behind my chair. I could feel my pillow slowly being moved up the chair away from me and was utterly paralyzed with fear. After about 30 seconds, the feeling left and it didn't seem cold. I flew back to the nursing station and told the regular nurses about my experience. They knew exactly which room I'd been in. I have not done a shift there again. My husband's family has always said the house they grew up in was haunted. I didn't believe them until we bought it and moved in. A lot of things happened, but the biggest is that one morning when my daughter was about a year old, I walked downstairs to find the name Brian spelled out in the magnetic letters on the fridge. My husband was working overnights and it definitely had not been there the night before. The only other person in the house besides me was my daughter, and since she was 1 year old, she wasn't old enough to know how to put letters right side up, let alone spell something. One night, I heard my mother calling me from the basement. I opened my door and went outside. I was heading towards the basement when I heard the door from behind open, and I turned around. It was my mother. She pulled me inside the bedroom and told me, "I heard that too." Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and please subscribe to my channel. If you have your own personal scary story, then please send it to me on email or you can send it to me on Instagram. Thank you.